A supercalifragilisticexpialidocious greeting, everyone. It's me again, Sir Carson Isaac Riquiza, and I am here again to rationalize your mock test in relation to your civil service exam review. I will be rationalizing numbers 1 to 50, which is the part 1 of this rationalization. Part 2 will be rationalized by Sir Elvin John Acuña. So, I hope you are ready, you are equipped and well prepared for this rationalization and makinig mabuti, okay? So without further ado, let's begin with first question. So this one is a little bit easy because this is just another test of analogy. So the directions is to test your analogy skills by choosing the best word that express similar relationship to the given words. So again, what you're going to do is to analyze first the relationship between the first two words, and then you look for what is best for uh the third word. Okay. So our first pair of words are iron is to metal, as granite is to blank. Is it marble? Is it rock? Is it sand or solid? So as you know, iron is a type of metal. So iron is a hyponym of metal. So granite is a type of what? Yun yung hinahanap natin. Is it marble? Granite is not a type of marble. Granite is not a type of sand. Granite is not a type of solid, but it is a rock. Diba? We have many types of rock, and granite is one of them. Yun yung isa sa mga ginagamit pag build ng roads, diba? And medyo madali lang ito kasi alam mo na agad yung granite ay isang uri ng bato. And therefore, answer natin dyan ay rock. Again, number 1, rock. Iron is a type of metal. Granite is a type of rock. Okay. Number 2, decibel is to sound as volt is to blank. Is it watts, fire, electricity, or lightning? So as you know, decibel is the unit of sound. So we measure the intensity or the let's say loudness of the sound using a decibel. So like 1 decibel, 2 decibel. So this is the unit of sound. So that is the relationship. How about volt? So volt here is a unit of measure. Unit of measure of what? Is it watts, fire, electricity, or lightning? As you know, lightning, hindi naman po natin siya necessarily na measure in terms of its lakas, 'di ba? Kasi who would want to measure lightning? Oh, 'di ba? It's very mabilis kaya hindi natin siya agad-agad ma-measure, so i-evict na natin si lightning. How about fire? Hindi mo din ma-measure yung fire kasi nga hindi man yan ma-measure ang fire. Nakadepende lang yun sa lakas, no, or sa laki. Pero hindi mo siya wala tayong unit of measure for that. So ang dalawa mo na lang pagpipilian ay watts and electricity. Now, ang hinahanap natin ay hindi unit of measure, kundi kung ano yung mini-measure. Watts here is also a unit of measure. Hindi naman parehas na unit of measure yung hinahanap natin, kundi ano yung mini-measure. So ang pinaka-obvious lang na sagot ay electricity. Again, ang sagot natin dito ay electricity. Ngayon guys, actually sir, yung watts, di ba ginagamit yun siya para i-measure yung kuryente namin sa bahay kung gaano kadami yung na ano namin, na-consume. Yes, actually totoo naman yun. Watts is a unit of measure, pero it is a unit of measure for what? For power. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, the product of electricity is power. Pero yung electricity lang yung mini-measure, volt po yun. Again, volt. Yung watts po ay unit of measure of power. Ibig sabihin yung product na ng electricity, nagamit mo na yung electricity, kaya nagkaroon ng power. Pero yung electricity, when measured, it's still volt. So remember nyo lang ito ha, decibel is to sound, volt is to electricity. So medyo madali lang naman siya once you get around it. Alam mo kasing unit of measure yung watt, so alam mo na hindi na yun masasagot. Okay? So dito, pwede kayong process of elimination. Pwede nyo tanggalin yung mga obvious na hindi nasagot. Number 3, coward is to brave, as philanthropist is to what? Oh, as you know, coward yun guys. Ano nga yung coward? Siyempre duwag. Oo, duwag siya. Yung brave naman ay matapang. So, ibig sabihin, ang duwag at matapang ay magkasalungat. Therefore, they are antonyms. Diba? Antonyms. So, ang hinahanap natin ngayon is ang antonym ng philanthropist. Is it one, selfish? Is it two, kind, pessimist, or optimist? So ano ba yung philanthropist? When we say philanthropist, guys, ito yung a person who loves humankind in general or a benefactor. Ibig sabihin, mapagbigay siya. Okay. Kaya philanthropist or nagdo-donate siya sa mga charities, namimigay siya sa mga tao. Kaya ang pagkakadescribe sa kanya ay a person who loves humankind in general or a benefactor or someone who gives away. Ganon. So ano yung kabaliktaran? Kasi antonym yung hinahanap natin. Ano yung kabaliktaran ng philanthropist? Is it selfish, kind, pessimist, or optimist? Pag sinabi nating optimist, start tayo number 4. Optimist, di ba yung positive thinker sila, yung mga positive na mga tao. Hindi naman kabaliktaran ng mapagbigay ang positive, no? Wala naman siyang kinalaman. Okay, so evict natin si number 4. Si number 3, pessimist naman is yung mga negative na mga tao or yung negative yung disposition sa life. So wala naman din siyang kinalaman sa pagiging mapagbigay. So i-evict na natin yan. Yung kind, guys, number 2, pwede naman yun siyang isagot. Kaso, synonym yun siya. Pero ang hinahanap natin kasi natin yung kabaliktaran. And very obvious naman, yung number 1, selfish, kung mapagbigay yung isa naman ay madamot or selfish. Kaya ang sagot natin sa number 3 ay selfish. Pero mas maging philanthropist ka na lang. Wag maging selfish, okay? Sige, number 3 ang sagot natin. Number 1, selfish. Number 4 na tayo, guys. Masyadong mabilis lang ating mga rationalization kasi medyo madali lang man ito. Okay, number 4, logic is to reasoning as ethics is to blank. Okay, is it character, is it behavior, subjects, or traits? Anong sagot? Sige. So as you know, ano ba yung relationship ng logic at reasoning? Actually guys, yung logic at saka reasoning, synonymous yun sila. Kasi yung foundation ng logic or kung saan galing yung logic is sa reasoning. Kung nakadepende ang iyong logic sa soundness of the reason. Ano yung soundness of the reason? Ibig sabihin, reasonable ang mga pagdadahilan. Okay, so yun nanggagaling yung logic. So reasoning is about, or logic is about reasoning. Yun yung relationship nila kasi yung logic ay nakabase sa reason. So saan naman nakabase yung ethics or ano naman yun about? Is it traits, subject, behavior, or character? Now, if you notice, character or characteristics and traits, pareha sila ng meaning. 'Di ba? Character or kumbaga kung ano yung katangian. Traits, katangian din. So pareha sila ng meaning. So pag parehas yung meaning guys, alam mo na evicted na yan. Evicted na yan. Yung subject naman guys, yung subject kasi parang siya yung point of reference or let's say what we call that, siya yung basis. Subject, siya yung nagiging basis. Pero hindi naman po, wala naman siyang kinalaman sa ethics per se. Kasi talaga yung ethics is about, ayan dito yung natin, definition. Ethics is about behavior, especially of particular group, profession, or individual that refers to their moral fitness. So, base na yan sa ating source, no guys? So, that is behavior. Correct. Kasi nakabase daw yung ethics natin sa ating behavior. Behavior, kasama dun yung choices, kung ano yung ginagawa natin, at kung paano natin ginagawa. Oo, yun yung ethics, no? Yung ethics nga, 'di ba? When we have that subject in college, yung ethics is yung pag tinuruan tayo ng mga morality, ng dilemma, or kung ano yung pipiliin nating choices based on different situations. So again, pag pumili ka na, it refers to action. And action is synonymous to behavior. Again, ang sagot natin, behavior. So, kung medyo plausible naman na sagot yung character at traits, pero alam mong pareha sila ng meaning, alam mo na hindi yun yung sagot. Kasi isa lang dapat talaga yung answer. Kasi nga, di ba, ang isang test ay buo siya ng dalawang parts. Unang part is yung STEM or yung question, tapos yung options or yung mga pagpipilian. So yung pagpipilian natin in this case, meron talaga siyang tatlong distractors at saka isang correct answer. So alam mong isa lang yung correct answer. Kaya pag parehas yung meaning, it's either wala sa kanila yung sagot or wala talaga sa kanila yung sagot. Sige. Number 5. Okay. Antenna is to signal as net is to blank. Is it web? Is it catch? Is it gross? Or is it fish? Ayan. Hanapin mo natin yung relationship ng antenna kay signal. Okay. Gumagamit tayo ng antenna para makakatch tayo ng signal, di ba? Or para magkaroon tayo ng signal. Minsan nga yung dati yung when on our earlier years, ina-adjust pa talaga natin yung antenna para makuha natin yung channel 2 o kaya yung channel 7. Di ba? Yung GMA at yung ABS. So, hinanapan natin yung signal. Para makuha natin yung signal, kailangan natin ng antenna. Ngayon, yung net, para sa naman siya ginagamit? Yung net, guys, yun bang ganyan? Yan, ganyan. Tapos, may mga maliliit na, ang pangit ng net ko naman. Yan. Yun yung parang net. Kinakatch ba natin yung web? Kinakatch ba natin yung catch? Kinakatch ba natin yung gross? Or kinakatch ba natin yung fish? Alam mo, guys, very obvious yung sagot dito kasi very detach yung mga choices or kumbaga magkakaiba yung mga choices. So alam mong wala sa kanila yung sagot. Pero ano ba yung ginagamitan ng net? Syempre para mag-catch ng para mag-catch ng fish. Alam ko yung iba na tempt siguro kayo magsagot ng web. Kasi nga net or internet, parang ganon. Pero kasi, tignan mo yung first analogy, antenna at saka signal. Ginagamit yung antenna para magkaroon ng signal. Ginagamit mo ba yung internet para magkaroon ng web? Hindi naman, di ba? Gamit mo yung internet para ma-open yung web, pero hindi para magkaroon or hindi para ma-catch, okay? So, ang sagot lang natin dito, guys, ay fish. Kasi yung fish ay yung net, ginatapon ba yun para ma-catch yung fish? Oo. So, very obvious sa number 5. Ang sagot natin ay number 4, fish. Guys, mag-check na ako sandali kung nag-record ba siya, no? Kasi minsan kasi, stop mong good yun siya mag-record. Okay, wait lang ha. Okay, sige, continue na tayo. Number 6 na tayo, guys. Stanza is to poem, as act is to what? Ano ba yung relationship ng stanza at saka poem? Yung poem, guys, meron siyang mga stanza or kumbaga mga, ano ba yan? Saknong, oo. Meron siyang mga saknong or yung mga paragraph kumbaga sa essay. Pero sa poem, ang tawag sa kanya stanza. So, stanza is a part of a poem. Ano naman yung act? Part siya ng Part siya ng movie, opera, song, or lyric. Alam mo na yung act, hindi kasama yung lyric doon. Kasi yung lyric, mostly, sa poem yun or sa mga song. Ganon din yung song. Kasi yung act, hindi niya naman binubuo yung song. Lyrics yung bumubuo sa song. Is it movie or opera? Pwedeng act 1 movie, pero kasi mostly yung movie, motion pictures na siya na naka-record. Tapos naka-divide siya by scenes, correct? Ang division ng movie ay by scenes, hindi by act. Ano yung by act? Yes, correct ka. Opera yon. Kaya nga, yun bang very popular na notion ni Hamlet, yun bang to be or not to be? Tanong yun sa play ni Shakespeare na Hamlet. Act yun. Merong specific act kung kailan niya yun sinabi. Kasi based on a division of, let's say, act, yung isang buong opera. If you've watched Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, or Miss Saigon, mapapansin nyo dun, each scenes are divided by one act. Yung isang act ay binubuo ng isang, let's say, isang part ng storyline ng buong opera. Okay? So, ang sagot natin dyan sa number 6 ay opera. Act is a part of opera the same way stanza is a part of a poem. So, poems are made up of stanzas. Operas are made up of acts. Correct. Number 7 tayo. Astrology is to astronomy as alchemy is to blank. Is it number 1, chemistry, number 2, biology, number 3, physics, number 4, science? Okay, ito guys, medyo tricky siya because hindi naman kasi talaga necessarily considered science ang astrology and alchemy. However, let's differentiate first. Ano yung relationship ni astrology at ni astronomy? Astronomy is a branch of science that deals with celestial objects, space, and physical universe as a whole. Ito guys, ang astronomy, actual branch of science. Ibig sabihin, nakabase siya saan? Sa facts. Oo, nakabase siya sa facts at empirical evidence. Ano yung empirical evidence, sir? Pag sinabi natin empirical evidence, ito po yung evidence na maoobserbahan, maaamoy, maririnig, at makikita. Ibig sabihin, mapapatunayan mo siya based sa iyong senses. So, yan po yung astronomy. Yung astrology naman po ay hindi siya totoong science. It is what we call a pseudo-science, which is the study of celestial body interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. Dito po nanggagaling yung mga reading natin sa ating mga horoscope. Ayan. Yan po yung astrology. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya totoong science. Pero, yung astrology po yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng astronomy. Ibig sabihin, yung mga dating tao naniniwala sila sa astrology, eventually nag-evolve yan into astronomy. So, ayan. So, yung astrology dati na base lang sa paniniwala, naging astronomy siya na nabase na siya sa facts. So, ano naman yung alchemy, sir? Pag sinabi nating alchemy, ito yung medieval chemical science and speculative philosophy with goals of transmutation of cheap metals into gold, a universal cure for disease and a way of prolonging life. Alchemy, isa din siyang tinatawag nating pseudoscience. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya totoong science katulad ni astrology. Oo. Kung naniniwala ang alchemist na kaya nilang gumawa ng elixir of life. Ano yung elixir of life, sir? Para siyang potion na pag ininom mo daw ay magiging immortal ka. Tapos kaya daw nilang gawin yung isang bronze, kaya daw nilang gawin yun into gold. So, ayan. So, medyo hindi siya kapanipaniwala na science, kaya that's why it's called a pseudoscience. Pero dahil din sa alchemy, nag-give birth din siya sa actual science na ngayon ang tawag natin ay chemistry. Oo, kasi chemistry, di ba, is yung paghalo-halo ng mga chemical para pag-aralan yung chemical properties ng iba't ibang compounds at iba't ibang ano ba yun? Compounds and elements. Oo. So, kaya ang sagot natin dyan ay chemistry. So, astrology, hindi totoong science. Naging totoong science siya into astronomy. Alchemy, hindi totoong science. Naging totoong science siya through chemistry. Correct, no? So, syempre, yung mga tao before, naniniwala sila sa alchemy at naniniwala sila sa astrology kasi nga, they don't have the necessary technology to prove whether or not these principles are actually verifiable or if it exists in the first place. Okay, gets ba yun, guys? Okay. So, yung astrology nagbigay daan sa astronomy, yung alchemy nagbigay daan sa chemistry. Okay. Gets yon. Kasi yung biology naman, it's a study of life, no? Yung alchemy kasi, study of chemicals. From the word chemi, ayan. Tapos yung physics naman is physical science, kumbaga kung ano yung observable phenomenon in our physical aspect. Tapos yung science is general body of knowledge. So hindi naman siya specific to chemicals lang or compounds and elements. So ang sagot natin sa number 7 ay chemistry. Number 8, okay. Census is to population, inventory is to blank. Is it accounting, merchandise, cost, or list? So alam mo guys na yung census, sure na bisita na kayo ng mga taong nagsisensus to account for population. Oo. Ito yung mga nagsisurvey para malaman yung population. 'Di ba? So yung census, ang laman niya or ang kanyang data ay population. So ano naman daw yung laman ng inventory or inventory? Census is yung parang pagkalap ng data para malaman mo yung population. Inventory is pagkalap ng data para malaman mo kung ilan ang, syempre, merchandise. Kumbaga, ilan na lang yung natitirang hotdog, ilan na lang natitirang tubig. O yan, pag mag-inventory ka sa tindahan nyo, for example, konti na lang yung kape, dadagdagan mo na siya. Ayun yung inventory. Hindi mo pwedeng i-inventory yung accounting kasi nga yung accounting is also another form of inventory pero naka-focus siya doon sa cash flows, financial statements, ganun. Yung cost naman, guys, hindi mo siya ma-inventory kasi hindi mo na pwedeng i-imbak yung or i-account yung cost, no? Hindi sa accounting na yun siya. Yung listahan naman, synonym siya ng inventory pero hindi siya hindi yun yung actual na ini-inventory. Ang ini-inventory is yung merchandise or yung mga products. Oo. Kaya ang sagot natin sa number 8 ay merchandise. Correct. Number 9. Oh, ang bilis lang natin guys, no? Same pa rin, analogy pa rin. Kasi analogy lang, medyo madali lang yung analogy. So, mabilis lang natin siya masasagutan. Oath is to promise, as contract is to what? Is it license, contract, agreement, or paper? Alam mo yung oath, ito yung gagawin mo kapag pumasa ka na sa civil service. You will have a civil service oath. Huh? Oo. So, pag nag-oath ka dyan, di ba, parang nagpa-promise ka din. So, synonym siya. Kasi pag nag-oath ka, ibig sabihin you are pledging to do or to abide by that oath. Ibig sabihin, nagpa-promise ka. So, ano na yun siya, equivalent sila ng meaning or parang magkatumbas ang kanilang mga meaning. So, ano naman yung katumbas ng contract? Yung license, guys, ito yung binibigay kapag na-achieve mo yung basic requirements para mag-practice ng isang profession. Hindi naman siya necessarily may contract kasi binibigyan ka ng authorization or binibigyan ka ng karapatan para mag-practice. Pero yung contract kasi, meron siyang terms and conditions na pinag-aagrihan ng dalawang parties. Pag contact, iba naman yung contact kasi siya yung mga matatawagan mo or kumbaga part ng network mo, nakakilala, ganun. Yun yung contact. Siyempre, agreement, pwede siyang contract kasi ang contract ay terms and conditions ng dalawang parties na nagkakasundo sila o sumasang-ayon sila sa mga na pagkasunduan. So, agreement yung pwede yung sagot dyan. Yung paper naman, although most of contracts are printed on paper, hindi naman necessary na yung contract ay nasa papel lang. Kaya ang sagot natin dyan ay agreement kasi ang hinahanap natin is yung may katumbas na meaning, which in this case is agreement. Diba? Number 10 na tayo. Okay. Glimmer or flicker. Glimmer is to flicker, as murmur is to what? Whisper, shout, rumor, speak. Okay. Yung glimmer, guys, is parang mag-shine-shine. Parang magkislap-kislap. Oo. Yung flicker, kislap-kislap din siya. So, ibig sabihin, they are what we call synonyms. So, parehas sila ng meaning. So, synonyms yung glimmer at saka si flicker. How about, how about murmur? Yung murmur, guys, yun yung para bang gano'n. Yung parang nagmumurmur ka sa sarili mo tapos ikaw lang nakakarinig. Oo. So parang nagsasalita ka ng mahina or maikli lang, gano'n. Ikaw lang nakakarinig. So, ang sagot mo, is it speak? Necessary speak naman siya. Pwede siyang speak, pero hindi necessary na murmur siya kasi nga, pag nagsasalita ka, naririnig naman, 'di ba? Pero pag nagmumurmur ka, hindi siya naririnig. Rumor naman is yung mga sabi-sabi or yung mga minarites or yung mga marites na mga pinagsasabi ng mga marites na mga inggitera. Yan yung rumor. Hindi naman siya necessary na murmur kasi yung murmur is mahinang pagsasalita. So, shout naman is kabaliktaran ng mahinang pagsasalita. So, obvious na ang sagot natin sa murmur ay whisper or bulong. Oo. So, yung murmur, mahinang pagsasalita, whisper, bulong, parang parehas din sila ng meaning. Kaya ang sagot natin dyan sa number 10 ay correct. Whisper. Oo. Hala, ang bilis talaga natin natapos. We only have 40 items left for part 1. And then part 2 na tayo agad, no? Number 11. Bouquet is to flowers as flock is to blank. Is it dogs, sheep, ship, or cats? So bouquet, alam mo na isang kumpol. Isang kumpol ng flowers. Naging tawag sa kanya ay bouquet. Bouquet of flowers. Yan yung matatanggap mo kapag graduate ka, di ba? Sana all nakatanggap ng bouquet. So, yung flock naman ay grupo ng kasi alam mo yung flowers, ang grupo ng flowers ay bouquet. So, ang flock ay grupo ng is it dogs, sheep, or cats? Okay. So guys, 'di ba parang na-discuss natin doon sa previous natin na discussion na iba-iba per animal. 'Di ba kapag dogs, iba yung tawag sa kanila. Ano nga yung tawag sa dogs? I-remind ko kayo sa tawag sa dogs. Sige. Okay, balik tayo ha. Sige na 'di ba na-discuss natin 'yun dati na ano ba yung mga group of animals, may tawag sa kanila. 'Pag sinabi nating dogs, ang tawag sa kanila ng group of dogs ay a pack of dogs. Parang a pack of wolves, gano'n, oo. Wait lang, nagre-record ko siya. A pack of dogs, ganon. Yung sheep naman, ang sagot natin dyan ay sheep kasi ang tawag sa grupo ng sheep ay flock of sheep. Okay? Flock of sheep. Yung dogs ay pack of dogs. Yung ship naman or yung mga bangka or mga boats, ang tawag sa kanila pag grupo na sila, ang tawag ay fleet. A fleet of ships. Ano yung spelling ng fleet, sir? It's F-L. Yan. F-L double E-T. Ayun yung fleet of ships. Tapos pag cats naman, ang grupo sa kanila, ang tawag ay clouder. A clouder of cats. Yan. A clouder of cats. Again, remember guys ha, pag dogs yan guys, a pack of dogs. Ibig sabihin, a grupo ng mga dogs. Or pack of wolves. Ayan. Pag sheep guys, a flock of ships. Pag sheep na I, hindi double E, yun yung mga bangka. Ang tawag sa kanila ay fleet of ship. And then, cats naman, ang tawag sa kanila pag grupo sila ay clouder. A clouder of cats. Again, remember, pack of dogs, flock of sheep, fleet of ships, and clouder of cats. Okay? Ang tawag natin doon ay collective noun. Okay? Sige. Tama. Hopefully, tama kayo. Let's proceed to number 12. Rescind is to law as withdraw is to what? Ang rescind, guys, ibig sabihin ay parang inaatras mo or parang hindi mo na itutuloy. Tapos yung batas, ibig sabihin hindi na tinanggal na yung batas or kumbaga inatras or binawi yung batas. Yun yung rescind. Yun yung relationship nila, binawi yung batas. Ito naman withdraw. Ano ba yung i-withdraw mo? Is it bank, candidacy, deposit, or resume? I-withdraw mo yung resume, hindi siya normal na phrase. Bakit mo naman i-withdraw yung resume mo? Kukunin mo ulit. Oh. So, hindi siya natin isasagot. Withdraw your deposit. Hala, guys, dineposit mo nga siya, tapos i-withdraw mo siya. Ibang transaction na yung pag-withdraw mo, no? Hindi na siya pwedeng pagsamahin. So, evicted na din yan. Withdraw the bank. Siyempre, hindi mo lang pwedeng i-withdraw yung bank, pero yung i-withdraw mo sa bank. So, ang pinakamalapit lang dyan ay withdraw the candidacy or kumbaga yung pagiging candidate mo ay hindi mo na itutuloy. Ayan po yung sagot natin kasi hindi pwedeng isagot yung tatlo. So, I hope tama kayo dyan sa number 12. Ang sagot natin ay withdraw ang candidacy. So, sana mag-withdraw ng candidacy yung mga politician na walang alam kundi mangurap lang. Char! Okay, number 13. Ay, meron na pala siyang, wait lang. Meron na pala. Sige, wag na. Okay. Hoax is to deceive as filibuster is to blank. Is it delay, refuse, stop, or none? So, ang hoax, guys, nandito na yung definition, is a deception for mockery or mischief or a deceptive trick or story or a practical joke. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya totoo. Fake siya, deceptive siya, mapanlin lang. Kaya yung hoax dito, kung papansin mo, synonym siya ng deceive kasi nga, ayan o, deception or deceive. And then, ano naman yung filibuster? Guys, iba yung filibuster sa filibustero sa el filibusterismo at iba yung filibuster in the context of English. Kasi filibuster in English is a tactic mainly used in the United States Senate to delay or block a legislative action or a bill or other matter by debating it at length. A way of delaying and preventing vote on a bill. Pag nag-filibuster ka, ibig sabihin masyadong mahaba yung sasabihin mo para hindi na, para wala ng time yung kalaban mo para mag-argue pa. Para hindi na pumasa yung batas na gusto nilang ipatas. So, isa siyang strategy in politics. Kapag ayaw mo talaga yung batas na pinapasa nila, tapos wala kang magawa, tapos mag-isa ka lang, wala kang kakampi para hindi matuloy yung batas, ang gagawin mo, ikaw lang isa, mag-filibuster ka ng 24 hours, 68 hours, basta madaming oras para lang hindi matuloy yung batas. Yun yung filibuster, okay? So, ang keyword natin sa filibuster is to delay. Again, to delay. So, obvious na ang sagot natin dyan ay number 1, to delay. Kasi parehas ng meaning si hoax at to deceive. Si filibuster, parehas din siya ng meaning sa delay. Again, ang sagot, delay. So ito guys, ito ay very political na mga terminologies. Kasi yung hoax, most of the time, ginagamit yan ng mga conspiracy theorists na hoax lang daw yung COVID-19 kaya hindi daw kailangan hindi daw kailangan mag-mask. Okay, kasi ayaw lang talaga nila mag-mask. Yung filibuster naman is not that common in the Philippines kasi you do not have, iba yung Senate rules, iba yung Congress rules natin sa rules of court ng United States or ng Senate floor rules ng United States. So mostly common lang siya sa United States of America. Pero still you have to know what the meaning of filibuster is lest we encounter this word again tas hindi natin alam tas government employee tayo. Okay? Pag filibuster, to delay, ibig sabihin pangpatagal. Okay? Pangpatagal. Number 14. Syllabus is to course, as agenda is to what? Huh? Is it subject? Is it platform? Is it meeting? Or is it lesson? Natignan natin yung relationship ng syllabus at course. Alam mo yung course, ito guys, hindi literal na course na ano yung kurso mo, like Bachelor of Education. Yung ang course dito guys is yung subject. Kasi ang tawag din sa subject ay course. Okay? Subject yan siya. Tapos, di ba yung syllabus, binibigyan kayo ng syllabus kada subject. That is, yung syllabus ay guide para sa subject. So, yung agenda naman daw ay guide sa ano? Is it subject? Hindi din pwede kasi kung course din yung guide ng agenda, syllabus na yon. So, evicted na yan. Yung platform ay lugar kung saan pwedeng gawin yung mga bagay. Yun. So, hindi naman necessary. Ang lesson guys, syllabus nga yung natin, guide or lesson plan. So, ang pinakasagot lang dyan ay agenda. If you notice, pag magmi-meeting yung mga executives or magmi-meeting yung mga heads or kasama ka sa meeting, meron silang our agenda for today or the following. Ayan. Para guided yung meeting at chronologically arranged yung pag-uusapan para maayos yung daloy ng meeting. Kaya merong agenda. Yung agenda guys is plural. Therefore, madami na yan kasama. Hindi pwedeng agendas kasi yung singular form ng agenda ay agendum. Again, pag isa lang, agendum, our agendum for today is only this one. Pero pag madami, agenda yun siya. Okay, agenda is plural, agendum is singular. Number 15. Ito medyo madali lang guys. Cat is to kitten, horse is to what? Alam mo na ang anak ng cat ay maliit na kitten. So, ano yung horse? Okay. So, yung horse, guys, syempre, malamang, it's obvious na pony yun siya. Pony yun. Oo. Kasi yung stallion, malaking lalaking horse yun siya. Okay? Malaking lalaking horse. Oo. So, yung pony, yan yung anak ng horse or maliit na horse. Kaya nga, if you notice doon sa mga cartoons na mga bata, 'di ba? Ano yan siya? Ano yan siya? Mga My Little Ponies. Ayan. So, kasi maliliit man yan na mga horse. Kaya ang tawag sa kanila ay pony. Yung stallion kasi guys, malaki yan siya na horse na lalaki. So, ano na yan siya pang travel, ayan, kaya stallion, malaki na lalaki, no? Okay. Wait lang guys, kasi loading man ang Sorry talaga ha. Okay, balik tayo. So, yon. So, again, yung stallion, ang sagot natin dito ay pony. Kasi yung puppy naman, guys, alam mo na yun, sa mga dogs man yun, no? Yung cab kasi, it's a form of carriage or parang karwahe or kung sa atin pa ay kalesa na ang mga horse yung mga nag-pull or sila yung mga na nagpapatakbo, no? So, hindi yan pwedeng isagot. Number 16. Okay. Evaporate is to vapor. Petrify is to what? Okay? Is it liquid, stone, magnify, or cold? So, evaporate, guys, pag nag-evaporate yung liquid, ang product niya ay vapor. Ayan, di ba? Pag yung liquid nag-evaporate or na for example, masyadong mainit, masyadong malamig, na magiging vapor yun siya. Yung petrify, ano man yung petrify, sir? Ito yung change, a chemical change na nagiging hard or nagiging bato yung isang chemical compound. Kaya petrify. So, ang sagot natin dyan, ano yung mga related sa bato? Liquid, syempre hindi. Magnify, hindi. Cold din, hindi. Ang sagot ay stone. So, pag petrify, nagiging bato siya ha. Okay, nagiging bato or nagiging matigas. Ang sagot natin dyan ay stone. Yung vapor, pag nag-evaporate, nagiging vapor. Pag nag-petrify, nagiging bato or something related sa matigas. Okay? Number 17. Ayan, mabilis na tayo guys. Canvas is to painter as marble is to what? Is it sculptor, rock, statue, form? Canvas, guys, ito yung sinusula ay dinodrawingan or pinipaintingan ng painter. So, alam mo na, ano yan siya, yan yung kung saan niya ginagawa yung kanyang art. Yung marble naman, sino ang gumagamit niyan? Or ang canvas ang gumagamit ng painter. Ang painter ang gumagamit ng canvas, sino yung gumagamit ng marble? Is it form, statue, rock, or sculptor? Kahit hindi mo pa alam yung sagot, alam mo na yung painter ay tao, tapos wala namang ibang tao dyan sa options, kundi sculptor, correct, no? Madami tayong mga marble na sculpture. Actually, example niyan yung The Ecstasy of Saint Teresa, no? Ang ganda-ganda ng gawa noon. Made of marble pala, pero parang yung mga tela na pagkaka-sculpt ay para talagang naga-flow, 'di ba? Matigas kasi yung marble, 'di ba? Tapos ilang isa-sculpt ng napakaganda, no? That's why only legendary artists used marble, no? Again, yung canvas or yung parang puting sort of ano ba 'yan? Parang tela kasi 'yan siya guys, yung texture niya medyo makapal. Oo. Ginagamit siya ng painter, yung marble naman ay ginagamit ng sculptor, okay? Ang sagot natin diyan sa number 17 ay sculptor, number 1. Okay? Number 18. Hammer is to anvil, as pestle is to what? Is it ground? Is it grinder? Is it mortar? Is it knife? Okay. Yung hammer, guys, alam mo yun na ang tawag dyan ay yung martilyo. Diba? Yan yung martilyo. Pero sir, ano man yung anvil? Sir, wala man tayong anvil dito sa Philippines. Okay. Ito yung forma niya, guys. Yung anvil, ito yon. Ayan. So, ito yung hammer. Ang partner niya ay anvil. Kung saan ka pwedeng magpukpok doon. Yun yung anvil. So, ano daw yung partner ng pestle? Oh, I think yung mga mama dyan, alam na alam talaga yung sagot nito kasi meron talaga yun sila sa bahay. Ang pares po ng pestle ay ito siya. Ito kasi yung pestle, guys. Ito yung pestle. And then, mortar yung kapartner niya. Okay? So, ang partner niya always ay mortar. Okay? Mortar. Ang sagot natin sa number 18 ay mortar. Okay. Sige. Pag hammer, anvil, ito yun guys ha. Ito yun. Pag mortar at saka pestle, ito talaga yun. Yung pangdikdik or ano ba yan? Yung pangdurog. Oo, pangdurog ng kung anong gusto nyong durugin. Mas madali kasi siya. Dati ginagamit din pangdurog. Okay. Sige. Number 19. Librarian is to books as curator is to what? Is it atlas, encyclopedia, room, paintings? Oh, eto guys, alam mo na yung librarian, siya yung nagbabantay ng mga books. Oo, or siya yung nagko-collect ng mga books. Nagko-collect, nagbabantay, or basta related siya sa books. So ano daw yung curator? Anong ginagawa ng curator? Siyempre guys, yung atlas at saka encyclopedia, parehas man yan sila book. So kay librarian, yan siya. Okay. So alam mo na hindi yan yung sagot. Ano pagpilian na lang, room or paintings? Pag curator ka kasi, ga-collect ka, or ikaw yung mga naghahanap, ikaw yung magbabantay din ng mga rare or mga mamahalin na mga artworks in general ha. Pwede siyang kahit anong art. Pero in this case kasi, ano lang ba yung art dyan? Room or paintings? Correct. Paintings lang yung art dyan. Kasi yung room ay kwarto lang naman yun. Mostly, ang nagko-curate or nagbebenta or nagko-collect ng mga rooms ay yung mga real estate brokers. Sila yung mga nagbebenta ng rooms para magbenta ng apartment or magbenta ng mga condominiums. Ayan. Kaya ang sagot natin sa number 19 ay paintings. Ang curator, guys, arts yan siya related na trabaho, which is In this case, paintings, no? Okay. Pero pag walang paintings, basta related yan sa arts, guys, ha? Pag iniba nila yung options, okay? Sagot natin sa number 19 ay option number 4, okay? Number 20 na tayo, guys. Last 30 questions after this one, okay? Madali lang siya, no? Kasi puro analogy lang. And then, kailangan mo lang talaga intindihin yung mga words na medyo unfamiliar yung iba. Okay. Archive, it's pronounced archive, guys. So, hindi siya archive. It's archive. Is to manuscript. No? Ang archive ay kanang lalagyan or para siyang place no, kung saan nilalagay yung mga manuscript or mga documents, doon siya ini-store. So, yung mga manuscript nilalagay doon sa archive. As arsenal is to what? Ano naman daw yung nilalagay sa arsenal? Kasi yung manuscript nilalagay sa archive. Yung nilalagay sa arsenal, ano yung arsenal? Kasi guys, yung arsenal, sige, tingnan mo natin yung options. Is it soldier, weapon, castle, or king? Ang pangit naman pag king yung ilagay mo sa arsenal. Hindi naman ikukulong mo yung king kasi parang storage area man yung archive. Storage area din yung arsenal. Ilalagay mo sa storage yung king. Kumbaga, ilagay mo siya sa pantry. Hindi. Pwede ba yung castle? Hala guys, sige, i-store mo yung castle. Pwede ba yun? Pwede mo ba siyang ilagay sa isang storage? Hindi kasi malaki man yung mga castle. Pwede bang soldier? Hala, ang pangit naman na i-store mo yung tao, no? Tapos i-lock mo yung tao doon sa isang kulungan, para sa isang lalagyan or storage. Para makasuhan ka naman yan, guys. Parang illegal man yan, no? So, ang very obvious lang na sagot dyan ay weapon. Pero yun talaga, guys, kahit hindi mo alam yung meaning ng arsenal, ayun, no, obvious sa options na walang ibang pwedeng ilagay sa storage, kundi weapon lang. Oo. Pero kung alam mo din yung meaning ng arsenal, alam mo na yung arsenal ay lalagyan ng mga weapon. Oo. Lalagyan talaga siya ng mga weapon or kung saan ini-store yung mga kagamitan na ginagamit mostly sa war, ganon. So, ang sagot natin dyan ay weapon option number 2. Oh, guys, ang bilis natin, guys. 30 questions na lang talaga after this, okay? Number 21. Check muna natin kung nag-record pa rin siya, guys. Minsan kasi nawawala yung internet, guys. So, I have to check from time to time kung ga-record pa siya ng... Ayan. It's still recording, thankfully. Okay? Let's go back to question number 21. Okay. 21. Bodyguard is to protection. As mentor is to what? Is it advice? Is it counsel? Is it teacher? Or is it leader? Okay. So yung bodyguard daw ay nagbibigay ng protection. Okay, di ba? Yung bodyguard, mostly ina-hire mo siya kapag feeling mo threatened ka or may banta sa buhay mo or if you're so mayaman or you're so sikat, so you need to be protected. So meron kang bodyguard. So ang bodyguard ay nagbibigay ng protection. Ano naman ang binibigay ng mentor? Is it leader? Nagbibigay ba ng leader ang mentor? Nagbibigay siya ng tao sa'yo para maging leader? Siyempre hindi. Nagbibigay ba siya ng teacher? Hala, bibigyan ka talaga ng teacher ng mentor. Hindi, kasi yung mentor yung actual teacher. Okay. So, pagpipilian mo na lang si 1 at saka si 2. Sir, pwede man yan isagot yung advice at saka yung counsel, sir. Okay. Pero ano ba yung pagkakaiba nila? Yung advice kasi, ito ay binibigay na tulong sa'yo para masolusyonan mo yung problema. 'Di ba? Pero yung mentor kasi tinuturuan ka niya. Pag mentor ka, tinuturuan ka niya on how to navigate things, paano ka maging magaling sa bagay na ito. Iba yun sa advice, no? Mostly related si mentor sa counsel. Kumbaga, guidance, okay? Yung advice kasi parang binibigyan ka ng parang, let's say, paano ba yan? Binibigyan ka ng tulong or binibigyan ka ng opinion nila, paano mo maso-solve yung mga problema mo, binibigyan ka nila ng tulong. Pero pag may mentor ka kasi tinuturuan ka talaga nila how to go through things. Most of the time, yung advice ay one time lang, 'di ba? Pumunta ka sa taong to para manghingi ng one-time advice pero hindi mo na inulit or hindi na nauulit. So pwedeng ang sagot, pwede yun siya pero one time lang. Pero pag mentor kasi, continuous yung menting. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang isang beses ka. Hindi naman pwede yung mentor mo, isang beses ka lang tinuruan, mentor na yung tawag mo doon. Hindi, parang naging ano mo lang siya, naging advisor mo lang siya, no? Pero pag yung parang siya yung naging nagturo sa'yo from the beginning up until the end, so ang tawag sa'yo dyan ay mentor na. Ang binibigay niya sa'yo ay guidance at counsel, no? Counsel. Again, sagot natin ay number 2, counsel. Number 22, guys. 28 questions left after this one. Novelist is to plot as architect is to what? Okay. So, ang novelist are yung mga tagasulat ng novel or yung mga uh, authors or writers. O yan. So, ang sinusulat nila ay yung plot or kumbaga ko yung storyline. Okay. Sumusulat sila ng storyline. Ano naman ang ginagawa ng architect? Siyempre, hindi naman sila yung mismong gumagawa ng building kasi engineers yon at saka yung mga construction workers. So, evict mo yan. Design, pwede naman design. Okay? Blueprint, mas maganda yung blueprint kasi nagbibigay siya ng actual plausibility measures, lahat-lahat. House, hindi sila gumagawa ng house ha kasi yung ano yon, yung mga workers yon. So, pipiliin mo lang is design and blueprint. Kaso guys, kung pipiliin mo yung design, mostly kasi nakalagay yan siya sa aesthetics tapos sa mga exterior and interior designers. Meron yan silang mga specific functions. Mag-design kung paano papagandahin yung labas at papagandahin yung loob or kung ano yung structure. Pero yung blueprint kasi, yung actual na kung paano gagawin yung bahay, kung ano yung structure ng bahay, at kung ano yung pwedeng ilagay sa bahay. Kaya pinaka-appropriate yan sa architect. Correct. Ang sagot po dyan ay blueprint. No? Pinaka-the best answer po dyan ay blueprint. No? Doon na lahat ng kailangan nilang malaman para magawa yung bahay. Okay? Blueprint. Number 23. Molecule is to atoms as tissue is to what? Excuse me. Organs, cells, body, or neutrons. Guys, this is a very basic, no? Kasi alam mo na ang molecule are made up of atoms. Kasi 'di ba, atoms is the smallest unit of something. Smallest na particle ang atom. Pinakamaliit ang atoms. So, ang atoms, pag madami yan, nagiging molecule. That's why molecules are made up of atoms. Gawa ang molecule sa mga atoms. So, ang hinanap natin dito is yung kung saan gawa ang tissue. What are tissues made of? Guys, hindi yung tissue na na tissue na nabibili mo dyan sa labas para gamitin pang punas ng mukha. Hindi yun na tissue ha. Yung tissue sa ating katawan. Okay? So, ang tissue natin guys ay gawa sa, correct, gawa to siya sa cells. Okay? So, from atoms nagiging molecules, yung molecules nagiging cells, yung cells nagiging tissues, yung tissues nagiging organs. Tapos yung organs gumagawa ng organ system hanggang makabuo ng isang human being or ng isang being. Okay? So, atoms to molecules, molecules to tissue. Tissue is made, atoms to molecules to cells, to tissues, to organ systems, tapos nagiging tao na. Okay? So, tissues ay gawa saan? Sa cell. Okay? Gawa siya sa cell. Yung tissue nagiging Nagiging organ. Yung organ, pag madami na sila, nagiging organ system. Yung organ system, pag madami na din, tao na siya or isang being na yun. Okay? Isang species, isang creature na yun. Okay? Sige. Kaya nga sabi nila, we are made up of atoms. Okay. Oo. Kasi atoms are the basic units or sino yung pinakapanliit na particles. Okay. Number 24. Eavesdrop is to conversation as trespass is to property, house, land, or assets. Okay. So, ang eavesdrop, guys, is yun bang nakikinig ka secretly. Oo. Nakikinig ka secretly sa conversation, which is not good kasi parang nanghihimasok ka sa isang usapan na wala ka namang hindi ka naman kasali. Okay? So, ang eavesdrop, saan ka nag-eavesdrop? Sa conversation. Saan ka nagte-trespass? Yung trespass is yung illegal na pagpasok mo sa isang property. Correct? Pwede naman necessary na land, house, at saka assets kasi lahat po yun, ang tawag sa kanila ay properties. Okay? Again, ang sagot natin sa number 24 ay property. Okay? Nag-trespass ka sa isang property. Pwedeng land yan, pwedeng bahay yan, pwedeng ano pa ba? Pwedeng kung anong-anong assets yan. Okay? So, doon ka pumasok illegally without permission from the owner. Which something na hindi dapat tayo mag-eavesdrop or makinig sa conversation na hindi naman atin at hindi din dapat tayo pumasok or manghimasok sa mga property na hindi naman sa atin at hindi tayo binibigyan ng pahintulot or permission. Okay? Dapat hindi yun gawin, guys. Kasi aside from it is indecent, it is simply wrong. Okay? Number 25, we are halfway there. Matatapos na po tayo in the next 25 questions. Kaya kapit lang sa patalim. Char! Okay. Sige guys, malapit na tayo matapos. Don't worry. Call is to telephone. So yung call is to telephone. As type is to what? Is it cell phone? Is it iPad? Is it keyboard? Is it piano? Okay. So yung call daw ay gamit siya ng telephone. Guys, to isolate further the idea, yung telephone ba na ganito, yung ganito good na telephone. Wait lang. I have here. Ayan, ito yung telephone na ibig sabihin niya. Ayan. So, ang sole purpose lang nito ay ang tumawag or make a call. Make a call lang talaga siya. So, yun yung purpose ng telephone. Hindi ka naman makapag-text dito, di ba? So, mag-call ka lang dyan. Mag-call ka. Okay. So, alam mo na ang call here is the function of the telephone. So, saan na yung type? Yung typing, kaninong function yan? Siyempre, cellphone, sir, pwede man good yung cellphone, sir. Kaya pwede ka man makatype sa cellphone. Pero guys, yung unang analogy natin, di ba calling lang yung pwede mo magawa sa telephone? Typing lang ba yung magagawa mo sa cellphone? Hindi. Pwede ka din tumawag, pwede ka mag-video call, pwede ka maglaro ng games, pwede ka kahit anong gawin mo, pwede ka gawin sa cellphone. Madami siya. So, hindi lang typing. So, hindi mo yun isasagot. How about iPad? Sir, pwede manggod yan sa iPad, sir. Kaya may keyboard, manggod yung iPad gihapon. Or meron pa rin yung keyboard. Hindi. Kasi yung iPad, pwede ka din naman dyan mag-calculator, pwede ka gumawa ng document. So, hindi lang typing yung, yung kanyang purpose. Yung keyboard, yes, walang ibang function ang keyboard, kundi mang-type. Sir, may iba bang function panghampas sa kaaway mo? Correct, char lang. Hindi, hawag niyo yun, gawin din. Violent yun masyado, okay? So yes, typing lang ang purpose ng keyboard. Yung piano naman, hindi ka naman doon nagta-type. Guys, ga-press ka man ng mga keys, okay? So ang sagot natin sa number 25 ay keyboard, option number 3. Okay. Tapos na tayo sa first set ng ating part 1 of the rationalization. Now we will move on to the second set, which is the last 25 questions. Pero this time, guys, hindi na siya analogy. Iba na yung direction. So the direction for questions number 26 to 25 is iba na. In 26, your direction is each of this data or each of these data sufficiency problem consists of a question and 2 statements. So, ito daw, kada problema daw dyan, or kada data sufficiency problem, may problema dyan daw, merong isang question, tas merong dalawang statement. Labeled 1 and 2, in which certain data are given. So, kada statement daw may binibigay sa inyo na data. You have to decide whether the data given in the statements are sufficient for answering the questions. So isipin mo daw at mag-decide ka kung ang data daw na binigay sa mga statement ay sapat para masagot yung katanungan. Okay? So kailangan natin malaman kung sapat na ba yung statement para masagot yung katanungan. Okay. Ang tanong natin sa number 26 is, by what percent was the price per kilo of chicken increased? So ilang porsyento daw yung price kada kilo ng chicken tumaas? Anong porsyento daw ng price ang tumaas? Okay. Sige. Tignan natin muna yung options bago tumingin tayo sa statement. Kasi yung options natin, yung unang option is statement 1 alone is sufficient. Ibig sabihin, yung statement 1, pwede na siyang sumagot sa buong katanungan, but statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Ibig sabihin, pag statement 1 lang, pwede siya na sumagot, pero pag yung statement 2 lang, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama yung 1, hindi siya sapat. Hindi sapat. Kailan pa hindi naging sapat? Char lang. Okay, number 2. Statement 2 alone is sufficient, but statement 1 alone is not sufficient. So, binaliktad naman. So, yung statement 1, kapag siya lang mag-isa, hindi siya sapat. Okay. Pag statement 2 lang daw, ay sapat na siya. Okay? Or number 3, both statements together are sufficient, but neither statements alone is sufficient. So, pag magkasama daw silang dalawa ay sapat siya sumagot sa question, pero pag mag-isa lang daw silang dalawa ay hindi daw siya sapat. Okay? Or number 4, each statement alone is sufficient. Or kada statement daw, kahit mag-isa lang sila ay sapat na. Kahit mag-isa ka lang ay sapat na. Okay. Or statement number 5, statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient. So kahit pagsamahin mo pa daw sa statement 1 and 2, hindi daw siya sapat. Okay, balik tayo sa ating statement. Ang question ha, kung gaano ba daw o ilang porsyento daw yung tumaas sa price per kilo ng chicken. Okay. Number 1, the price per kilo of chicken was increased by 20 pesos. Ayan. So, ang tanong natin, what percent? Ang sinagot ng number 1, tumaas daw siya ng 20 pesos. Ang number 2, the price per kilo was increased by 120 pesos. Oo. Sabi niya, yung tumaas daw siya ng 120. So, saan yung sagot natin, guys? I think it's obvious na pwede yung dalawang statements. So, ang sagot natin dyan ay 3. Both statements together are sufficient, but neither statement alone is sufficient. Bakit? Kasi, eto, sabi niya, the price per kilo of chicken, tumaas daw ng 20 pesos. Ngayon, kung siya lang, ano yung hinahanap natin? Percent. Hindi pwedeng siya lang. Okay? Hindi lang pwedeng siya lang. Kasi sinabi niya lang 20 pesos, pero ilang porsyento yan? Okay. Pero sa number 2, sinabi niya lang, increase ito na 120 na siya. So, ibig sabihin, yung dati niyang presyo, kung tumaas siya ng 20, ay 100. So, tumaas siya ng 20%. O, malalaman mo yung percent kapag meron ng actual price with the increased price. So, ang sagot natin sa number 26 ay both statements together ay sapat sila, pero pag mag-isa lang sila ay hindi. Kasi tingnan mo, number 11, the price per kilo of chicken was increased by 120. Tumaas daw ng 120 pesos na ang presyo. Magkano yung original na presyo? Hindi mo alam. Pero pag meron kang statement number 1 na tumaas siya ng 20 pesos. So alam mo na minusan mo lang yung 100 ng 20, yung original price niya ay 120 pesos. Tapos 100 pesos. So yung 100 pesos, kung tumaas ng 20 pesos, ilang percent yun? Masasagot mo na, di ba? That is 20%. So ang sagot natin sa number 26 ay both statements together are sufficient, but neither statement alone is sufficient. Okay? Number 27. Okay, same pa rin tayo ng options. A real estate broker received a commission of 8% of the selling price of a certain property. Yun sinabi ko kanina, yung mga nagtitinda ng mga condo or ng mga bahay or whatever. Naka-receive daw siya ng 8% na commission of the selling price doon sa kung ano yung binibenta niyang property. What was the selling price of the property? Ang tinatanong is, magkano daw yung price ng property? Okay. So, tignan natin yung statement. Statement 1, the selling price minus the real estate agent's commission was 9,200,000 pesos. Okay. So, ang selling price daw, kapag binawasan na ng 8%, ay 9,200,000 pesos. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, that is 92%. Okay. So, number 2, the selling price was 250% of the original purchase of 4 million pesos. Ayan. So, ang sabi dito sa second statement naman daw ay mas mataas daw ng 250% yung selling price kaysa sa original price niya na 4 million. So, ang original price is 4 million. So, pwede mo siyang masagot kung magkano yung selling price kasi mas mataas ng 250, i-times mo lang yan siya. Okay. So, anong sagot natin? Sige. So, magkano yung price? Kung 250%. So, i-times mo lang ito ng 250%, that is 10 million. So, malalaman mo na 10 million. Okay. So, ito naman, selling price minus the real estate commission was 92 million. Actually, guys, si 1, pwede siya. Bakit? Kasi alam mo na 90% yan. Kasi binigay man, 92% yan. Kasi binigay man yung 8% na commission. So, pag hinanap mo yung 8%, malalaman mo na 800,000 yun. Okay. So, pag plinas mo yun, malalaman mo na yung presyo na 10 million. Same din sa 1. So, alam mo na ang sagot ay each statement alone is sufficient. So, kahit 1 lang yung statement dyan, malalaman mo pa rin kasi sabi niya, the selling price minus the real estate commission was 900,000 9,200,000 pesos. So, alam mo na kasi minusan na yun ng 8%, that is 92%. So, kung i-times mo yan, mahanap mo yung 8%, that is 800,000. Pag plus mo yun sa 9,200,000, malalaman mo na 10 million yung selling price. So, alam mo na, pwede yun si statement 1. Statement 2 naman, pwede mo lang din i-times yung 4 million sa 250%, malalaman mo na yung selling price. So, each statement alone, kahit isa lang yan, kahit walang partner, kahit ikaw lang mag-isa, kahit wala ka ng partner, sapat na siya. Oo. Char. Oo, minsan sapat na kahit ikaw lang mag-isa. Maniwala kayo, guys. Char lang. Okay, number 28 na tayo, guys. I-check ko lang ulit kung nagre-record pa tayo kasi minsan nga nawawala yung ating internet. Akala mo maganda ang internet nila sa Bangkok, Thailand, pero minsan pala talaga sobrang hina. The same pa rin ng situation sa Philippines. Okay. Sige. Number 28 tayo. Cherry and Kiana were among those who sold raffle tickets to raise money for the club. Si Cherry daw at si Kiana, ay kasali daw sila sa mga nagbenta ng raffle tickets para daw makapag-ipon ng pera para sa club. So if Cherry and Kiana sold a total of 168 tickets, kung si Cherry daw at si Kiana ay nakabenta ng 168 tickets, silang dalawa, how many tickets did Cherry sell? Ilan daw yung binenta ni Cherry? Tingnan natin si option number 1. Kiana sold 60% as many raffle tickets as Cherry. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin daw, mas mataas daw ng 60% ang nabenta ni Kiana kaysa kay Cherry. Okay. So, kahit pa guys, hindi nyo alam kung paano yun isolve, malalaman mo. Malalaman mo na mas mataas yung nabenta ni Kiana kaysa kay Cherry. Meron siyang, mas mataas yun. Sa number 2, Kiana sold 8% of the raffle tickets sold. Ito naman mas madali. Kasi kung 8% yung nabenta ni Kiana, i-times mo lang yun ng 8%, alam mo na yung natira, yun yung kay Cherry. Sige. So, ano ang sagot natin? Okay. Okay, Wait lang guys, ha. Parang hindi siya 1. Kasi, pag Kiana sold 60% as many raffle tickets as Cherry. Okay. Kaya pala siya sufficient kasi nagko-compare siya ng dalawa. Oo, kino-compare niya yung dalawa. Pwede yon kasi malalaman mo man yan. Mas mataas ng 60% yung kay Kiana kaysa kay Cherry. Masosolve mo kung ilan yung tickets na nabenta ni Cherry. Pero hindi mo pala masosolve kasi silang dalawa lang yung sinabi dito, Dalawa lang. If Cherry and Kiana sold a total of 168 tickets, ayan, 168 daw yung nabenta niya, silang dalawa lang yung nakabenta. Pero madami ba sila nagbenta? Were among those who sold. Ibig sabihin, mas madami pa yung nagbenta. Ang sinabi dito, of all raffle tickets sold. Oo. You have to look out for all. Ayan all yung sabi dyan. Tapos, dalawa lang yung sinabi na total. Kanilang dalawa lang to. Pero yung sabi dito, all. Madami pa nga, among those who sold. Madami yung nagbenta. So, kaya pala, statement 2 alone is not sufficient. So, ang sagot natin, ay statement 1 alone is sufficient. Pwede nating malaman kung ilan yung binenta ni Cherry by having this data. Pero hindi natin malalaman yung number 2. Ang sagot natin sa number 28 ay option number 1. Ito. Guys, parang siyang math problem, pero hindi. Actually, this is just a comprehension problem. What is the ratio of M is to S is to A? Ayan. Tignan natin yung statement 1. A is equal to 2 and MS is equal to 64. But statement 2, M over S. Ito lang guys. Nag-loading siya. Di ba yung Okay, we are back. Balik tayo guys. Okay, what is the ratio of M is to S is to A? Okay, so ang statement number 1 says A is equal to 2 and MS is equal to 64. So, tignan natin yung statement number 1 kung masasagot niya ba itong katanungan na ito na what is the ratio of M is to A is to S is to A. Tignan natin yung i-solve natin. So, focus tayo sa statement number 1. So, kung titignan natin dyan, binigay niya na A is equal to 2 and MS is equal to 64. Ang ibig niya ng MS is gimultiply niya, guys, yung M at saka S. So, kahit pa, alam mo na yung product ay 64, madaming product kasi yung 64. So, pwedeng 8 times 8, 64. Pwedeng 16 times 4, 64. So, pwede yung S, 8, yung S, yung MS, yung M tsaka ang value 8, yung S value 8, yung M pwede 16, yung S pwede 4, pwede ding magkabaliktad, yung M pwedeng 64, pwedeng S ay 1. So, pwedeng ang kada isa nito, ang ratio nila ay 1:1, 4:1, 64:1, etc. Which means, hindi niya masasagot yung M is to S is to A. Kasi kahit alam mo ng A is 2, pero hindi mo alam kung ano yung M at saka kung ano yung S, hindi mo pa rin masasagot yung ratio ng MS at saka 2, no? So, very mahirap or hindi mo talaga siya masasagot. Pero tignan natin si statement 2. So, si number 1, not sufficient na siya, okay? Not sufficient. Not sufficient. Si number 2, tignan natin si statement number 2. Focus tayo dito sa statement number 2. Ayan. So, M over S is equal to 2 and A over S is equal to 1/4. Tignan natin. Kung M over S and A over S is 1/4, pwedeng yung M magiging 2S siya kasi M over S, cross-multiply mo lang yan sa 2 over 1. Magiging ganyan lang yan siya, guys. Okay? So, M is equal to 2S. Okay? Kasi 1M man yan. So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay yung 1. So, that is why naging ganito. So, ganun din yan sa A at saka 4. So, magiging M is equal to 2S as A is equal to 1/4 S. So, kung titignan mo, pwedeng mong malagay dito yung M, tsaka A, at tsaka S by just, yes, oo. By just assuming the number 1 for S. Okay. So, tignan mo dito. Kung lagyan mo ng 1 yung S, ayan, okay. So, magiging 2 times 1, 2 yan. And then, S is 1. And 1/4 times 1 is 1/4. So, ang sagot ay 2:1 is to 1/4. So, nasagot mo yung tanong ng what is the ratio of M is to S is to A. So, ang sagot natin sa number 29 ay statement 2 alone is sufficient, but statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Okay? Ang sagot natin sa number 29 ay option number 2. So, pwede kayo mag-try mag-solve actually. Kung hindi talaga siya solvable, ibig sabihin, hindi siya sufficient na answer. Sige, number 30 na tayo, guys. If X and Y are integers. Ano ba yung integers, guys? Yung integers are whole numbers. Okay? Whole numbers. Kung whole numbers daw sila, is X divisible by 17? Yan yung question. Divisible ba daw itong X ng 17? Okay. Tignan natin yung statements. Statement 1, the product of XY is divisible by 17. Pag minultiply mo si X at saka si Y, divisible siya by 17. Pero ang tanong, X lang man, guys. Si X lang, divisible ba siya by 17? So, hindi sufficient si number 1. Tignan natin si 11. Y is not divisible by 17. Hindi daw divisible by 17 yung Y. Pero guys, ang hinanap naman natin kay X is divisible by 17. So, wala din siyang kinalaman. So, ang sagot natin dyan ay number, sige, bakit both statements together are sufficient? Sige, malalaman mo kasi na yung product, pero hindi eh. Wait lang ha. Bakit yun yung na-highlightan? Feeling ko nagkamali lang. Okay. Sige. So, alam mo na yung product ng X at saka Y, or pag minultiply mo sila, divisible by 17. So, pwede siya, pero hindi mo malalaman kung asan dyan yung divisible by 17. So, hindi siya pwedeng alone si 1. So, evicted mo na yan si statement or option 1. Okay. Pero, tignan mo si number 2. Y is not divisible by 17. So, kung hindi divisible by 17 yung Y, automatic na alam mo na yung X ang divisible by 17. Kasi kahit sabihin pa natin 17 lang si X, tapos i-multiply mo siya ng 3, or kahit 1 or 2 pa yan, divisible siya by 17. Gets nyo? So together, kapag silang dalawa ang nagsama, both statements are sufficient. Okay, tignan, balik tayo ha, i-recap natin. Ang product, or kapag minultiply mo si X at saka si Y, ay divisible by 17. So let's assume na si X at si Y, pag minultiply mo, kaya pwede mong ma-divide by 17. Pero sabi niya dito, Y, yung si Y daw, ay hindi divisible by 17. So kung let's say 1 si Y, let's assume na 1 si Y, so hindi mo talaga siya pwede ma-divide by 17. So, pag minultiply mo man silang dalawa daw, kaya divisible ba sila by 17? So the only way na true si statement 1 ay dapat 17 at least si X, no? So kung 17 times 1, 17 yan. 17 divisible ba siya by 17? Yes, 17 divided by 17, that is 1. So, ang sagot natin dyan ay both statements together are sufficient pag nagsama sila, pero pag isa lang sila ay hindi. So, ayan. Kasi ang sagot lang natin na hanap ko, divisible ba si X by 17? So, alam mo na si Y ay hindi. So, probably, si X ay divisible by 17. Number 31. I hope na gets nyo yun, guys. On Saturday morning, the printing machine of Gerpress printing ran continuously at uniform rate to fill a production order. Okay, so umaga daw ng Saturday, ang printing machine daw ay, ang lamig guys, okay, continuously na nag-print, no? In a uniform rate. Ibig sabihin, pareha sila lahat ng bilis ang pag-print. Okay. So at what time did it completely fill the order that morning? Ang tanong, anong oras daw na complete yung order nung morning na yon? Okay. Is it 1? Statement 1. The supervisor began to plan for production at 8:08 a.m. So nagsimula siya, planning pa, 8:08. Number 2, the machine, nasagot ba yung sagot na anong oras daw na napuno yung order? Hindi. So alam mo na evicted na yan si option number 1. Okay. Number 2, the machine had filled 50% of the order by 9:48 a.m. And 5/6 or 5th of 6 of the order by 10:18 a.m. So alam mo na 50% daw yung nabuo niya by 9:48. So kung nagsimula ng 8:08, alam mo na ang 50% ay 1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay, 1 hour and 40 minutes. So 12, 30 minutes. Another, pila man ang ka-percent ha? Kung 3, 2, 50 ang 3. Okay. Sige. Nabuo daw yung 5th of 6 or 5/6 na order by 10:18 a.m. So alam mo na si 1, hindi na siya pwede. Pero, hindi din pwede si 2 kung wala si 1. Kasi hindi mo man alam kung kailan nagsimula sa 2. Sinabi niya lang na natapos na yung 50% ng order by 9:48. Kaya ang sagot natin dyan ay bakit naman sufficient ang number 2? Ay, okay. Sige, pwede mo pala siyang masagot kasi nga uniform yung rate of production. So alam mo na every 30 minutes matatapos ang 2/6 or 1/3. 2/6 or 2/6 of the order matatapos siya every 30 minutes. Okay. Matatapos siya every 30 minutes. Kasi 50% yung 50% yung natapos by 1 hour and so tatlo yung natatapos every 1 hour and 40 minutes. Doesn't make sense, no? Okay. By the time na, okay, ma-answer mo pala yan. Sige. Hindi talaga. Kung 30 minutes, 5/6. Sige, i-multiply natin yung 30 minutes sa 5. I-divide mo ng 5/6. 5/6 ang 30 minutes. So, merong 5/6. 5/6 times 30 minutes. Ingana. Okay. So, kada part ay matatapos ng, let's say, divide mo ng 6 yung 30, that is 5. 5 times 5, 25. 25. 25. Wait lang. Sige. Wait lang guys, ha? Okay. Ang mali ko pala is I keep on going back to statement number 1. Kailangan mo pala silang i-treat as separate statements. Okay guys. Kailangan mong i-treat as separate statements. Nag-record ba? Kailangan mong i-treat as separate statements ang mga statement na ito. Kasi si statement number 1, hindi nga siya pwede, di ba? So, evict mo siya. Okay? Evict mo siya. Tignan natin si statement number 2. If a machine fills an order of 50% at 9:48. So, 9:48 siya nakatapos ng 50%. 9:48. Tapos, anong difference niya by 10:18? 30 minutes. By 30 minutes, ang natapos niya is 2/6. Ibig sabihin, nadagdagan ng 1/3 yung 50%. Okay? Nadagdagan ng 1/3 yung 50%. So, kung ita-times mo yung 30 minutes sa 3, kasi nga 1/3 yung natapos niya by 30 minutes, malalaman mo na yan, 1/3, isa sa 3 yung natapos niya in 30 minutes. Kung i-times mo lang yan siya ng 3 para maging 100%, magiging 90 minutes. So, ang tanong, what time did it completely fill the order that morning? So, 90 minutes, dagdagan mo na lang ng 60 itong 10:18, magiging 11:18 a.m. So, masasagot mo siya by statement number 2. That is why statement number 2 alone is sufficient. Sige, para mas ma-visualize natin guys, mag-solve tayo sa isang separate na sheet, okay? Ayan. Okay. Balikan natin yung statement number 2. Alam mo na hindi plausible sa statement number 1, okay? So, tignan natin si statement number 2. Okay. Pwede nyo actually ignore. Hindi nyo pwede ignore. Sige. So, meron kang, yung machine ay 50% ang natapos by 8:48. Ang ating, 9:48. Ang ating point of reference ay yung 9:48. Okay? 9:48 yung ating point of reference. 9:48. Yan. Yung ating point of reference, AM. Natapos na yung 50%. So, ang natapos dyan, 50%. Ngayon, by the time na 10:18 na, 10:18, ang natapos na daw dyan ay 5/6. Kumbaga, more than 50% na. So, anong nabago? Nadagdagan lang yung 9:48 ng ilan? 30 minutes. 30 minutes ang nadagdag. Ngayon, ilan naman yung natapos niya? So, kung ang 50% natin, guys, ng 6, ilan man yung 50% ng 6? Is 3. Di ba? So, is equivalent to 3 yan siya. Tapos ito, naging 5/6 siya in 30 minutes. Naging ilan yung nadagdag? That is 2. 2 yung nadagdag over 6. Kasi ito, 3/6 or 1/2. Or 1/2 yan. Diba? So, 2/6 or anong ibang tawag dyan? 1/3. 1/3. Okay. So, kung nadagdagan ng 1/3, ibig sabihin, alam mo na yung rate kasi nga uniform, di ba? Alam mo na yung rate every 1/3. Every 1/3 merong 30 minutes. Ayan, di ba? So, para mabuo yung 3/3, ilan yung dadagdag mo? Siyempre, i-multiply mo lang siya both sides ng 3. So, i-multiply mo ito ng 3. Tapos, i-multiply mo ito ng 3. Okay. So, magiging, ilan yan? 90 minutes. 3 times 30, that is 90 minutes, is equal to 1. Kasi nga, dinimes mo na siya ng 3. So, naging 1 na siya na buo. Hindi na siya fraction. Ngayon, 90 minutes na ba agad yung order? Or yan ba yung tinanong? Ang tanong is, at what time did the order complete? Tinanong kung anong order. Masasagot mo ba yun with 90 minutes? Siyempre, nanggaling ka dito sa 8:48. 50% na yung natapos niyan. 'Di ba? So, ilan na lang idadagdag mo? Ay, hindi. 8:48 to 10:18, ang nadagdag ay 5/6. So, ilan na nadagdag mo? 60 minutes. So, natapos siya ng 11:18. So, sagot po natin ay statement 2 is alone, alone sufficient, but statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Number 32. Ang tanong naman dito, how many books does Gerard have? Ilan daw yung books ni Gerard? Is it a statement 1? If Gerard had 18 fewer books, he would have only half as many as he actually has. Oo. So, kung nabawasan daw siya ng 18 na books, half na lang daw siya, or, ang tawag dyan? Ang tawag sa half base sa Tagalog? Kalahati na lang siya ng total books niya. So, ibig sabihin, ang kalahati, kasi kalahati yung 18, yung isang kalahati is 18. So, masasagot mo yung tanong na, how many books does he have? 18 plus 18? 36. Masasagot mo yan. So, pwede si 1. Number 2, Gerard has 3 times as many fictions and non-fiction books. Mas madami daw ng 3 beses yung fiction or yung mga books niya na hindi totoo or fantasy yung genre kaysa sa mga So, hindi mo masasagot kung ilan talaga yung books. Ang sinabi niya lang, kung mas madami daw yung mga books na may fiction na genre at kesa sa mga non-fiction. So, ang sagot natin, statement 1 alone is sufficient, but statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Kailangan dagdagan pa siya ng data. Okay, number 33. Ito, sagutin mo daw. What number is 24% of X? Okay. Ano daw yung 24% of X? So, assuming na hindi mo alam yung X kasi kinalimutan mo na siya, ano daw yung 24%? Yan. Paano natin masagot? Tignan natin. 1. 16 is 8% of X. So, 8% siya ng X. So, malalaman mo na yung 92% is missing. Pwede mo bang masagot yung Pwede mo bang masagot yung X dito? Yes, actually guys, pwede mo siyang ma-solve. O sige, 16 or 8 divided by 16, that is 0.5. Okay. Meron tayo dyang solution. Meron tayong, ayan. Yung, ano nga yung P, R, ano nga yan? Wait lang. PR. Meron kasi meron yung mnemonics. Sige, attach ko na lang para, kalimutan ko pala. Okay. Guys, pagpasensya nyo ako, I don't have my pen right now, but sige, mag-solve tayo kung magagawa ba natin yun siya. Pen. Tingnan natin si statement number 1. 16 is 8% of X. Para malaman natin yan, we can actually make percent to decimal. So, yung 8% pag naging decimal ay 0.08. Ayan. So, kung lagyan natin ng X dyan, kasi that is 8% of X, is equal to 16. Divide mo lang yan both sides ng para ang matira ay x. 0.08. 0.08. Ang total niyan guys ay, ilan ba yung total niyan pag mag-calculator na tayo for the sake of this, ano ha? Sige guys, wait lang talaga guys. Ang hirap talaga pag walang pen. I-type ko na lang. Sige guys, mahirap din pala yung type. Sige, magsulat na lang talaga ako gamit ang aking pen. Sige, balik tayo. Para ma-solve natin yung x in this case, sa statement 1 muna tayo ha. 16% or 16 is 8% of x. So i-solve natin yan siya. Igawin natin siyang decimal yung 8%, 0.08. Tapos ilagay mo dyan yung x kasi nga yan yung 8% ng x is equal to 16. So, para maging malabas mo yung x, i-divide mo lang yan siya both sides ng 0.08 para ma-equal yung x na lang yung matira. So, ilagay mo din yan dito na 0.08. Ayan. So, x, kasi makancel man yan guys, makancel yan. X is equal to ilan? So, 16 divided by 0.08, ang total niyan guys ay 200. So, ang total ng x is 200. So, kaya mo bang makuha yung 24% ng x? Yes, kasi meron ka ng 200 na value. So, 200, i-times mo lang yan ng 0.24 times 0.24. In decimal form lang ng 24%. Ang total niyan guys ay 48. Okay? So, nakuha mo yung sagot sa question na what number is 24% of x. So, check si statement 1. Clear muna natin yung pen. Hirap guys kasi wala akong pen. Ano ba yun mag-click? Eraser, erase. Erase muna natin yan. Tingnan natin sa statement 2. Kung pwede ba sa statement 2. Okay. So, 1/8 of x is 1,600. Okay. So, 1/8 of x is 1,600. So, same lang din tayo ng process, guys. 1/8 x is equal to 1,600. 1,600. So, multiply mo lang yun siyang 1/8. So, i-divide mo lang ang 1,600 ng 6, ay ng 8. Ilan ang 1,600 divide 8? So, okay, divide mo yun man siya ng 1/8 para ma-evict na yung 8, tapos x is equal to 1/6 over 1/8. So, in this case, magiging times by n siya. So, magiging nangyari lang is 1,600 divided by 8, that is 200. So, makuha mo ba yung 20% ng x? 20% of 200 is 48. So, ibig sabihin, both statement 1 and statement 2 are insufficient. Each statement is sufficient. Ang sagot natin sa number 33 ay 4. Option number 4, each statement alone is sufficient. Okay, number 34. What was the total amount raised for the Payatas tragedy from private corporations and personal donations? Ang sagot lang talaga natin dito is total amount daw na nakuha. Yan lang, keyword. Tignan natin si option number 1. Statement number 1. Of the amount donated, 48% came from private corporations. Doon sa nabigay na amount, ang galing sa private percent ay 48. Galing sa private corporations ay 48%. So alam mo na 52% ay galing sa personal donations. Pero hindi naman sinabi yung amount. Ang sagot natin, ang tinatanong dito ay yung amount. So i-evict mo na yan si statement number 1. Hindi na pwedeng sagot si option number 1, hindi na pwedeng sagot si option number 3, at hindi na pwedeng sagot si option number 4. So you are left with statement option number 2 and option number 5. Tingnan natin. Of the amount donated, 50 million came from personal donations. So yung 15 million daw ay galing sa personal donations. Okay. Masasagot mo ba yung tanong? Hindi din, sir. Hindi din yung one statement. Pero, Okay? Tignan natin kung 'pag sila ba pinagsama natin, magiging ano ba, magiging buo ba yung answer natin. So, alam mo na 52% ito, 'di ba? Kasi nga 48% yung private. So, this is 52%. So, 'pag pinagsama mo silang dalawa, alam mo na ang 52% ay 15,000,000. So, magkano ang 48%? Sige, paano ba natin 'yan maso-solve? 15,000,000, 15,000,000 over 100. 15,000,000. Wait. Wait lang guys ha. Sige. Okay. Kahit hindi niyo na 'yan i-solve pala guys, puwede na. Puwede na kahit hindi mo i-solve. Kasi alam mo, may figure ka na eh. 52%, 52% ay 15,000,000. So, ang 48% malalaman mo na kung magkano. May formula naman 'yan diyan. So, sasagot mo yung sagot ay yung tanong na total amount. Pero 'pag isa lang siya, 'pag 15,000,000 lang ta's hindi sinama yung 48%, hindi mo man masasagot. Ang sagot natin sa number 34, both statements together are sufficient but neither statement alone is sufficient. Oh, paano mo 'yan maso-solve? Alam mo na 52% yung 15,000,000. Sige, para ma-solve mo yung 48%, sige maggawa tayo ng separate page, okay? Yan. Ang gawin niyo lang guys is ilagay mo diyan yung 15,000,000, 15,000,000, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Laki natin. Tapos, alam mo na 52% yan kasi 48 man yung isa. I-divide mo lang yan siya ng into decimal. So, i-divide mo yan. Divide mo yan ng decimal version ng 52% which is 0.52. Ang magiging total niyan guys is 28,000,000. Ang total niyan ay 28,846,153.8. Yan yung total donation. Kung gusto mong malaman yung 48%, hala, i-minus mo lang yung 58, ay yung 15,000,000, may 13,000,000 ka, which is the 48%. So, masasagot mo pag silang dalawa ay magkasama. Kaya ang sagot natin sa number 34 ay both statements together are sufficient, but neither statement alone is sufficient. Number 35. Mary's total score in the 3 bowling games was 530. Ang total niya daw sa tatlong laro ay 500, wait lang hala, lumabas na yung answer, ay 530. What were her scores? Ano daw yung scores niya sa tatlong laro? Ang statement 1, Mary's highest score is 198. Ang number 2, the sum of Mary's two highest scores was 368. Okay. Ang tinanong, ano daw yung mga scores niya? Ang sinabi sa statement 1, ano daw yung pinakamataas niyang score is 98. Tapos ang sa statement 2 naman, yung ang pinag-combine na two highest score niya ay 368. So alam mo, si 198, pag binigay lang yung highest score, hindi yan siya pwede na siya lang isa. Pero pag two highest daw ay 368. So dalawang highest, kasama na dito yung 198. So i-minus mo yan, 368 minus 198 is pilaman or how much? Okay. 2, so 1, 0 dito, 7, and then 170 yung isa. So 198 yung isa, 170 yung isa. So, pag plinas mo yung 368, i-minus mo sa 530 kasi tatlo lang naman, minus 530, minus, 368, ilan? That is 32, 100, 162. 162 yung isa. So, ibig sabihin, pag silang dalawang kinumbine mo na statements, malalaman mo yung total or yung mga scores niya individually. Pero pag ito lang, highest score lang, hindi. Pero pag ito lang din, hindi. So, ang answer natin, both statements together are sufficient but neither statement alone is sufficient. So, madali lang kasi alam mo na yung highest score, tas yung total ng two highest score is 368. I-minus mo lang yung isang highest score, makuha mo na yung isang highest score. Dalawa na yung nakuha mong score, tatlo lang naman yun. I-minus mo yun siya sa 530 kasi yun yung total. Alam mo na yung pangatlong score. Sagot natin sa number 35, both statements together are sufficient, but neither statement alone is sufficient. Number 36. Okay. Sige, tignan natin. If the value of n closer to 48 is closer to 48 than to 78. Oh, sige, paano daw natin yan siya gawa ng representation? Okay. So, mas malapit daw yung value ng n kay 48 kesa sa 78. Okay, tignan natin. Is statement 1, 78 minus n, mas malaki daw yun kesa sa n minus 48. Greater than. Eh, ang sabi lang naman dito, yung value daw ng n ay mas malapit daw kay 48. Okay. Kaysa kay 78. Okay. Sige. So, alam mo guys na hindi talaga tama si statement 1. Kasi hindi mo man masagot na 78 minus n, binawasan mo ng n, tapos mas malaki siya kaysa sa n minus 48. Eh, mas malapit nga yung value. Pwede pala 'no, kasi kung 78, assume natin na malapit siya 'no. So, let's say 60 siya, 60. 78 minus 60, that is 18, is greater than 60 minus 48 is 12. Pwede. Pwede pala si statement 1. Statement 2 naman, n is greater than 60. Hala, siyempre hindi. Mas malaki daw siya sa 60. Eh, dapat nga mas malapit siya kay 48. So, dapat nasa 40, ano lang siya, 45, 46, ganon. So, hindi pwedeng 60. So, evicted na si 2. So, ang sagot lang natin dyan ay, statement 1 alone is sufficient, but statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Pwede mong ma-solve yung value ng n, or pwede mo siyang ma-represent by statement 1, pero statement 2 hindi. True po si statement 1, pero statement 2 hindi. 37. In last Saturday's midnight sale at Gaisano Mall, a certain shop sold 75% of the shirts in its inventory. Oh, nung last Saturday daw sa midnight sale sa Gaisano, meron daw shop na nag-sold ng 75% ng kanilang inventory. Each shirt was sold 358 pesos. Okay. What was the total revenue of the sale of these shirts on that day? Ano daw yung total na kinita? Kung kada shirt ay 358, tas 75% ng kanilang buong inventory ang nabenta. Magkano yung kinita? Sige, tignan natin statement 1. When the shop opened last Saturday, there were 448 shirts in the inventory. Masasagot mo ba? Pwede po. Kasi pwede mo lang naman hanapin yung 75% ng 448. O, times mo yan ng 0.75. That is, ilan ang 75% ng 448? 448 times 0.75. That is 300. Ang total niyan ay 336. Yan na ba yung total? Hindi. I-multiply mo yan sa kada amount ng kada shirt. Ang shirt ay 358 times 358. Ang total sales nila ay 120,288. So, pwede yung si 1. Check yan. Number 2, all but 112 of the shop's inventory were sold last Saturday. So, nabenta daw lahat except sa 112. Masasagot mo pa rin siya, bakit? Kasi alam mo na yung 112 is 25% na lang. Kasi 75 lang yung nabenta eh. So, yung 112, 25%. So, 112 mo lang, times mo lang yun siya ng 25%. Ilan man yung 75%? Times 3. That is 336 pa rin. Tapos, masolve mo pa rin siya with the amount. So, each statement alone is sufficient. So, pwede silang dalawa. Okay. Sige. Sagot natin sa number 37 ay option number 4. 38. How many boys than girls are there in the room? Oh, ilan daw ang dami or ilan daw yung dami ng boys, ilan daw yung lamang ng boys sa dami kaysa sa girls? O tignan natin yung options. Yung statement. Statement na, there is a total of 56 girls and boys in the room. So boys and girls daw 56 yung total. Pero ang tinatanong, ilan daw yung lamang ng boys. Hindi naman nasagot yan sa statement 1. So evicted na agad si option 1. Evicted na din si option 4. Option 2. Statement 2. The number of boys in the room equals the square of the number of girls in the room. Ayan. Ibig sabihin ng square is i-times mo siya sa the same amount. For example, 8 squared is 8 times 8, 16. Okay. So, is equal. So, kung meron lang daw 8 na girls, 16 daw nun, boys. Okay. Sige. So, eto guys, hindi mo siya masasagot kung statement 2 lang. So, evicted na din yan si 2. Pero masasagot mo siya kapag dalawa sila. Kasi meron kang total, tas meron kang square. So, let's say, ang number mo ay, square root mo lang yan. Square root mo yung x. Okay. So, x is equal to, let's say, x plus y is 56. Yan yung total number of boys and girls. 56 sila. Let's say si Boy Sky, ano yan siya? Siya yung boys, yung x. Okay. So, alam mo na x is equal to square root of y. Oo. Square root siya ng y. 'Di ba? Okay. So, alam mo na pag binigyan mo ng value si x at saka si y, malalaman mo yung total number or ilan yung number ng boys kaysa sa girls. Okay. Meron siyang formula dyan. Pero hindi na natin i-discuss kasi hindi naman hinihingi sa inyo yung solution, kundi kung pwede ba siyang ma-solve. Number 39. In what year was David born yung tanong? Okay. So is it statement 1, David's friend Michelle, who is 1/2 years younger than him, was born in 1979. In 1998, David turned 20 years old. Ang friend daw ni David's friend Michelle, ang friend daw ni David na si Michelle ay 1/2 years na mas bata sa kanya. Okay. She was born in 1979. So, in 1998, David turned 20 years old. So, kung titignan mo si statement 1, ang tinanong lang anong year daw pinanganak si David. So, mas bata daw ng 1.5 years si David. Tapos, pinanganak daw si Michelle ng 1979. So, mas bata lang mas matanda ng 1.5 years si David kay Michelle. So, probably 1978 pinanganak si David. So, kung plus 20, nag-20 years old na si David. So, ang sagot natin, statement 2 is sufficient, but statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Bakit hindi pwedeng 1 lang, sir, is sufficient? Yung 2 pwede siya. Alam mong 20 years old siya by 1998, i-minus mo lang yan ng 20 yung 1998, 1978 siya pinanganak. Pero bakit hindi sufficient si statement 1? Kasi si statement 1, hindi mo alam yung 1/2 years na yon kung tatawid ba siya ng isang taon. For example, kung pinanganak si Michelle ng 1979, pero pinanganak si David kumbaga, ang month na pinanganak si Michelle ay 1979, tapos November, tapos kung 6 months, 1978, or let's say, iba na yung magiging year, 'di ba? So, hindi mo siya mako-confirm unless si statement 2 nagsabi na 1998 talaga siya or 1978 talaga siya pinanganak. Whereas, pag 1/2 years lang, pwede siyang tumawid ng taon kung pinanganak si Michelle ng December, tas plus 6 months, or pinanganak siya ng June, tas plus 6 months, di ba? Madami siyang factors na kailangan pang i-consider. So, ang sagot natin ay statement 2 alone is sufficient, but statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Guys, imaginein mo yon, last 10 items na lang. At Class Tanglao Review Center and Tutorial Center, 400 students are enrolled at the Career Service Examination Review Program or Academic Advancement Program, or both. If 100 of these students are not enrolled in CSC, how many of them are enrolled in Career Examination Review Program and Academic Advancement Program? Okay. Sige. So, kung meron daw 400 na naka-enroll sa CSC Review Program or Academic Advancement Program, tas yung pangatlo is enrolled sila sa dalawa. Kung meron daw 100 ang hindi enroll sa Career Service Examination Review Program, ilan daw yung enrolled sa both uh, Career Service Review Program and Academic Advancement Program? Tingnan natin sa statement 1. Of the 400 students, 160 are not enrolled in the Academic Advancement Program. Sige. Pwede ba natin siyang masagot? Okay. So, kung 160 ang hindi enroll sa Academic Advancement Program, tapos 100 ang hindi enrolled sa Career Service, meron tayong total of 260 minus 400. Ilan yan? 140. 140 na enrolled sa Academic Advancement Program at enrolled din sa Career Service Examination Review. Pwede nating malaman, di ba? Pwede nating masagot si question na how many of them are enrolled in both? O, malalaman natin. Pwede yon. How about number 2? A total of 240 students are enrolled in Academic Advancement Program. So, kung enrolled sila dyan, tapos merong 100 na hindi enrolled sa CSC, meron tayong 140. So, ang sagot natin, yes, each statement alone is sufficient. Pwede niyang masagot yung katanungan, both. Guys, 41 na tayo, guys. Ito medyo hindi na kayo kailangan ma-stress kasi medyo madali na lang siya. Okay. Some actors are singers. Okay. So, yung ibang actors daw, ito, actors ito. Actors. Yung ibang actors daw ay singers. Yung yan, singers daw yan sila. All singers are dancers. Lahat daw ng singers are dancers. Ano yung conclusion natin? Some actors are dancers. No singer is actor. Oh, is it only one conclusion follows? Only two conclusion follows? Either one or two follows? Neither one or two follows? Both one and two follows. Guys, hindi mo talaga isasagot si number 3 ha. Kasi kahit saan yung pwedeng isagot. Huwag mo yan isagot. Sige, alam mo, tignan natin si number 1. Some actors are dancers. Yung iba daw actor ay dancer. Pwede, no? Kasi lahat ng singer ay dancer. Pasok siya dito. Meron tayong pasok sa banga. I-drawing natin. So, pwede si 1. Pwede 2. No singer is actor. Wala daw singer na actor. Yung ibang actor ay singer. So, hindi pwede. So, only one conclusion follows. Yan. So, mag-drawing kayo, guys, para madali nyo yan maintindihan. Ito. All the harmoniums are instruments. Ayan. So, ang lahat daw ng harmoniums, ayan, harmoniums yan sila. Instruments daw sila lahat. Lahat daw ng instruments ay flute. Flute. Ayan. So, all harmoniums are instruments. All instruments are flutes. Ayan. So, tignan natin yung conclusions. All flutes are instruments. Lahat daw ng flutes ay instruments. Hindi, guys, kasi nasa labas man yung flutes. Lahat ng flutes, instrument yon. Ay, correct. Correct pala, no? Yes. Ay, hindi. Nasa labas kasi siya. All instruments are flutes, pero not all flutes are instruments. So, kung nasa labas yung instruments, lahat ng flutes ay instruments. Pero kaya nasa labas man yung flutes, so hindi iyan na conclusion, guys. Kahit alam mo na instrument yung flute. Pero based sa statement, hindi. Ito, all harmoniums are flutes. Ito yung harmoniums. Pasok siya sa flutes? Yes. So that is only one conclusion. Only one conclusion follows. Bakit to ang na-highlightan? Wait, I will confirm. Okay, guys. I will confirm for a while. Yes, correct po pala. Ito lang ang tama kasi si conclusion 1, si conclusion 2 lang ang follow. Sorry guys, ang pagkakaintindi ko, isang conclusion lang yung nag-follow or dalawa. Okay, tama pala. Only conclusion 2 follows. Okay. So guys ha, i-drawing nyo yun. Okay? Number 43. Some mangoes are yellow. So ito yung mangoes. Mangoes. Yung iba dyan daw na mangoes are yellow. Some tikso are mangoes. So, some tikso daw are mangoes. Some tikso are mangoes. Ayan. Sige, tignan natin. Conclusions. Some mangoes are green. Wala pong sinabi dyan na green. Tikso is a yellow. Wala pong sinabi kasi tikso, some lang. Some lang na mangoes. Ang answer, neither conclusion 1 nor conclusion 2 follows. Kasi hindi naman nag-meet yung mga circle. Okay? Walang nag-meet. So, hindi pwede nating isagot si 1 and si 2. Saan ito ba? Ha? Teka. Okay. Number 44 na tayo, guys. Drawing tayo. Some ants are parrots. Some ants, ito daw, yung ibang ants daw, are parrots. Parrots daw yung ibang ants. All parrots, lahat daw ng parrots, are apples. Lahat ng parrots are apples. Anong conclusion natin? Is it all apples are parrots? All apples are parrots? Hindi. Kasi all parrots are apples. Hindi pwedeng baliktarin. Exit yan. Some ants are apples. Some ants, ito yung ibang ants, are apples. Yes, kasi pasok siya dito. Okay, nag-meet si ants at saka si apples. So, ang sagot natin, only conclusion 2 follows. Ayan, madali lang siya guys, no? Kasi drawing ka lang. Number 45. Some papers daw, yung iba ay pens. Pens daw yan, pens. Sige, lagyan natin ng S yung pens. Okay? PS. All pencils are pens. Lahat daw ng pencils are pens. So, ibig sabihin sa loob ng pencil. Ayan. Lahat ng pencils are pens. PL yung ilagay natin. Okay. Ang pangit na pagka-drawing naman. Ulit, guys. Okay. Some papers, ito yung papers. Yung iba dyan daw ay pens. Pens daw yan. Tapos, all the pencils are pens. Ibig sabihin, nasa loob ng pens. All the pencils. So, PL. PL are pens. Ayan. Sige, tingnan natin ang conclusion. Some pens are pencils. Yung ibang pens daw are pencils. Yung ibang pens are pencils. Hindi, kasi nga, all pencils are pens. Some pens are papers. Some pens are papers. That is correct. So, only both 1 and 2 follows pala. Pwede pala yan. Some pens are pencils. Yung ibang pen ay pencil. Correct. Nandito pala siya sa loob. So, ang sagot natin ay both 1 and 2 follows. Number 46. All actors are girls. Lahat daw ng actors, lahat daw yan sila ay girls. Daw yan sila lahat. Lahat daw ng girls are beautiful. Beautiful daw yan lahat. Ano yung ano natin? All actors are beautiful? Pwede, kasi nasa loob siya ng beautiful at saka girls. Sige. Some girls are actors? Hindi, kasi sabi dyan, all the actors are girls. Ang sagot? Ay, pwede pala si some girls are actors. Kasi, nasa loob din pala ng girls yung actors. Pwedeng some, pwedeng all. Pwedeng some, pwedeng all ha. Number 5, both 1 and 2. Number 47. All windows, lahat daw ng windows ay doors. Doors daw yan sila. Pero no door, wala daw door na wall. So, anong conclusion? Some windows are walls. Some windows are walls. Walang sinabi dyan. Exit yan. Or no wall is a door. No door is a wall. No door is a wall. No, wrong din siya kasi all the windows are doors man. Ay, oo. Wrong din siya. Kasi wala namang wall. No door is a wall. No door is a wall. So, pareha silang okay. Ulitin natin, guys. Ulitin natin. Balik tayo. Drawing tayo ulit para clear. All windows are doors. Windows. With S na lang. Lahat daw yan sila. Ay doors daw yan sila. Door. Wala daw door na wall. Ibig sabihin, nandito yung wall. Okay. So, sige. Some windows are walls. Yung iba daw windows ay walls. Hindi. Wala siyang kinalaman. Wala daw wall na door. Correct. Kasi hindi nga sila nag-meet. So, ang sagot, only conclusion 2 follows. Correct pala. Okay. Kaya hindi ko pala na-drawing yung wall, guys. Number 48. All cups are books. Lahat daw ng cups ay books din. Lahat daw ng books ay shirts. Shirts. Conclusion. Some cups are not shirts. Hindi, kasi lahat. Some shirts are cups. Some shirts are cups. Pwede. So, pasok si conclusion number 2. Pwede siya kasi nasa loob yung cups. Okay? Number 49. Last 2 questions na tayo, guys. Some cows are crows. Yung ibang cows daw, sige, cow yan. Tapos, are crows. Yung iba daw ay crows. CR. Some crows are elephants. Yung ibang crows daw ay elephants. Conclusion. Some cows are elephants? No. All crows are elephants? No. Neither one or two follows. Kasi some lang ang both answer. Guys, last questions na tayo, guys. Okay. All the pencils are pens. Pens din daw sila. All pens are inks. Lahat daw ng pens are inks. Ayan. So, anong conclusion? All the pencils are inks? All the pencils are, yes. All the pencils are pasok sa inks, yes. Some inks are pencils. Correct then. So, answer, both 1 and 2 follow. Oh my gosh, guys. We were able to finally, grabe po ka. We were able to finally finish our discussion. Oh my gosh. And that ends our rationalization for mock test 6 part 1 of the part 1. The next part or the second part will be discussed by Sir Alvin Jan Acuña. I hope you will have a nice time with him. I also hope you have a nice time with me. Although some of the parts of the discussion are a little bit confusing, kailangan talaga siya ng utmost focus and rethinking. Sometimes kailangan mo pa siyang tignan ng maayos because it would really confuse you. Sometimes ako kahit nabasa ko na yun ng ilang ulit ay medyo ang tawag diyan sa Tagalog, nalilipat na na medyo meron pa rin akong nakakaligtaan na sabihin, and that's why I would understand that Q sometimes would not understand also what the discussion. Pero kailangan nyo lang talagang mag-focus, guys, because with focus everything is possible. Walang hindi posible kapag nag-focus ka tapos ginawa mo yung best para intindihin yung mga bagay, okay? So, I would just congratulate you in advance sa nalalapit yung civil service exam. I know papasa kayo if you really just focus. And thank you for bearing with me. This is Kirsten Isaac Riquiza, and I hope to see you next time as civil service professionals na. Okay, goodbye and thank you for being with me for the rest of this rationalization. Part 2 to be followed from Sir Alvin San. Bye.